All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. We are going to do a reaction to a channel I've never heard of before. Looks like a newer channel called All About Random, and it's titled the video is Jordan versus LeBron and to all GOAT debates. Um, Now, the reason we're going to watch this is because this is relatively new, and most of the Jordan and LeBron GOAT debates I see are before he was an LA Laker. So not recent, not fair because LeBron's got one more ring since then. And I'd like to do something a little more recent. So if you like what you see, go check out All About Random and let's do this.
The debate rages on. Is it ever going to end?
Yeah, it's
The
over.
argument over who is the greatest basketball player of all time. Is the decades-old consensus of Michael Jordan being the GOAT legitimately being challenged by the achievements of LeBron James?
Nope.
The sports media have spent countless hours debating this topic, but is there an objective victor when someone looks at all the facts and statistics? Or is the gap between these two athletes so razor-thin that everyone can have their own opinion and reasonably justify their point of view?
I really don't think so.
When you listen to the sports talking heads of today, like Nick Wright, Shannon Sharpe, or Skip Bayless, you hear arguments from each side. But most of these arguments are at best mostly opinion with weak supporting facts, or at worst statements that on face value are true but taken out of context are extremely misleading. Context
Everyone's got opinions, but yeah, we need facts. That's why I try to stay grounded in the facts.
is everything, and I will explain why this is so important later on. The current sports media would lead you to believe that this debate is too close to call or even possibly tipping in LeBron's favor. But they would be dead wrong, as the gap between these two is as wide as the Grand Canyon.
My man.
And I am going to definitively prove to you that Michael Jordan is by far the greatest basketball player of all time using just the facts. You
All
aren't
right.
going to hear watered down arguments like 6-0 finals record beats 4-6, or MJ just passes the eye test better. While these arguments may be true, I don't believe they are strong enough to convince any skeptics on the other side. So here it is. Here are the 5 main topics we will use to determine just who is the undeniable GOAT.
Oh, let's
1.
do this.
Statistics.
Okay,
2. Achievements.
good.
3. Better supporting cast.
I like it
4. Tougher competition.
for sure.
5. Weaknesses and meltdowns.
Yes.
We are going to
yes.
compare per game stats, as longevity is only a tiny portion of who is the greatest. As long as each player has had a substantial career and not just
Once again, Tom Brady would not be the GOAT if he didn't have 7 championships. Doesn't matter what his total stats were. That's the reason we call it that. Everyone calls him the GOAT.
a few great seasons, the cumulative stats or longevity argument should only be used as a tiebreaker if all other things are equal.
Agreed.
Larry Bird is unanimously a top 10 player of all time, and guess how many statistical categories he ranks in the top 30 all time? 0.
Yeah,
That's
what,
right.
He played like 13 years.
Larry Bird is not in the top 30 all time for points, assists, rebounds, or any other major statistical category. Is Karl Malone the 3rd best scorer of all time? Is Magic Johnson really only the 7th best in assists in NBA history?
Nope.
Or switching sports, would you consider Matt Ryan a better passer than Dan Marino, Aaron Rodgers, or Joe Montana? Is Emmitt Smith the best running back of all time,
Hell
even
no.
over Barry Sanders, Walton Payton, or Jim Brown?
Did he mispronounce Walter Payton? Walton? Come on, guy.
Of course not.
Nah, man, it was my boy
Cumulative
Barry.
stats only show you one thing when comparing the greatest players, who played the longest. LeBron is in his 21st season compared to Jordan's 15 seasons, which is really only 13 seasons when you take into account that MJ missed almost 2 of these seasons due to injury and retirement.
Yep, 13.5 years.
Jordan broke his foot in just the 3rd game of his 2nd year in the NBA and only returned to play 15 more regular season games at the end of that year. And during those games, Bulls management restricted him to just 23 minutes per game despite strong objections from MJ himself.
But I never saw the irony. I wonder if, like, that was Jordan negotiating. Like, they tried to make it 20 minutes per game, but Jordan was like, make it 23.
Even on heavily restricted minutes, Jordan was able to average 22.3 points per game for those 15 games.
God damn. 22.3 in those games where he was limited at 23. That's also when he went on to light up the for 69, and the guy was on a tear.
Which, if he would have played his typical
Fresh off
career
injury.
average of 38 minutes per game,
God
would have
damn.
resulted in a ridiculous 37 points per game.
Yeah, he did
In
it, though.
1993,
He did that for real.
Jordan shocked the entire world by retiring after his father was ruthlessly murdered in a carjacking incident. He was at his peak at the prime age of only 30 and had just come off his first three-peat, in which he was by far the most dominant player in the NBA.
In the world.
He sat out almost 2 full years chasing his father's dream of him playing professional baseball, only to return for the final 17 games in 1995. The following 3 years were once again dominated by Jordan as he completed his second three-peat, and then once again retired at the age of 35. Jordan won the regular season MVP, Finals MVP, was first-team All-Defensive to go along with his first-team All-NBA selection that year, all while racking up his 10th consecutive scoring title, proving he was still forming.
Damn, dude. Imagine a guy doing that and then retiring. Like that was his last year there. Insane.
And away the best player in the league. MJ proceeded to sit out the next 3 full seasons before lacing up for a Washington Wizards team that he now was part owner of.
I love the Wizards years.
He finished that season at the age of 39, averaging 23 points per game. At that time, the league was solely focused on defense, where team scoring averages were at their lowest in NBA history, with the Wizards only averaging 92.8 points per game. Compare this to the 2024 season, in which LeBron is currently averaging 24.7 points per game in an offensive-saturated league, in which the Lakers average a ridiculous 114 points per game.
I know. Most of his points, I've been watching him lately. Most of his points are just wide open layups, fast break, because he keeps cherry picking. So he doesn't get back on defense, man. So instead of running back on defense, he's just cherry picking, and then that's where the majority of his points are coming. Just wide open layups. It's pretty embarrassing, to tell you the truth.
When you adjust Jordan's scoring as a percent of the Wizards' scoring compared to LeBron and the Lakers' scoring averages, MJ would average over 28 points per game in today's NBA.
And look, when Jordan was 39, he was getting triple teamed.
Clearly, not a washed-up player at that age by any standard. And what about the 3 years Jordan went to college at North Carolina? College-age MJ hit the game-winning shot as a freshman to win the national title. And then went on to win National Player of the Year the next 2 years before declaring for the NBA after his junior season.
And then lit it up in the Olympics.
He also led the 1984 Olympic team to a gold medal, but there is more to this story that most people don't know.
Yeah, he
As
lit up the
preparation
pros
for the
too.
Olympics, the team scheduled 8 games against some of the best players in the NBA at the time. This NBA All-Star studded roster rotated each game and consisted of future Hall of Famers Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, Kevin McHale.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that roster. Jordan's college team lit them up. That's a hungry young kid going against all these greats.
Clyde Drexler, Robert Parrish.
And that's 1984. These guys were young, healthy, on top of their game.
James Worthy and Bill Walton. The games were supposed to be a tune-up for the Olympics for the college-age team, with an expected semi-competitive result of the NBA All-Star team winning all 8 games, since it was the greatest the NBA had to offer against just some college kids. And that is exactly what the result was, 8-0, except it was in favor of the Jordan-led college team.
Man, I didn't realize it was 8 games. Man, Jordan's team won all 8 games. It was not a fluke. That's why they feared him when he came in.
You heard that right. College-age MJ and the Olympic team dominated the NBA All-Stars that included some of the greatest players in NBA history en route to winning all 8 games. So, Jordan clearly would have been one of the top players in the NBA if he had chosen to skip college and go straight to the NBA. Jordan then entered the NBA at the young age of 21 and completely demolished the competition. He averaged over 28 points per game as a rookie, which was 3rd best in the league that year. So, it is easy to see that Jordan could have played many more seasons if he chose to throughout his career, and thus padding his already otherworldly stat line. Jordan could have played an additional 7 full seasons plus an extra
Hmm.
2 seasons consisting of his foot injury year and first retirement. Imagine
Yeah, that's why longevity doesn't mean shit. If Jordan was chasing longevity goals, forget about it. Forget about it. He would have crushed them all.
what Jordan's cumulative stat line would look like with 9 additional seasons. They would have been untouchable.
Dude, leader in scoring. He probably would have been a leader in steals. He would have been up there in blocks. Um, Forget about it. I mean, yeah. It wouldn't be LeBron leading the league, leading all time in points accumulatively. Not even close.
Now, for all number crunchers out there, let's take a look at how these two compare with the actual numbers. When using a 10% variance as a significant statistical difference, Jordan leads in 5 categories compared to LeBron only leading in 2 categories. So LeBron is only better at defensive rebounding and assists, and Jordan is better or equal at everything else.
Hmm.
But this does not tell the whole story, as some positions or roles on a team are more prone to racking up stats in specific categories. An example of this would be ball handlers with assists and big men with blocks. So, remember when I said context is everything at the beginning? I'm going to prove it to you now. If you just compare base stats without any context or position on a team, then you would have to say that Shaq is a better
God damn.
shooter than Steph Curry, right?
I know. Yeah, field goal percentage is higher, so blah, blah, blah. Yep, I'm with him.
Well, based solely on shooting percentages, Shaq shot 58% for his career compared to Steph only shooting 47%. But saying that Shaq is not only a better shooter than Steph,
Jesus
but that he is
Christ.
an astronomically better shooter than Steph is ridiculous.
It is.
Shaq dunking or shooting bunny shots compared to Steph's logo bombs is not an apples-to-apples comparison. You see, context means everything when comparing stats.
Yep. No,
So,
that's the best
let's
shooter of all
compare the
time.
per-game stats for Jordan and LeBron with the all-time list for each at their respective position. Now LeBron's rankings look pretty impressive compared to other small forwards, as he is in the top 20 all-time in all categories except offensive rebounding.
Blocks at number 18. A lot of people like to talk about his blocks because they remember that one against Iggy in the finals. Yeah, he's not good at blocks. He'll only get those breakaway ones. He doesn't actually play defense, guys. Like he doesn't play stand up defense and block people. He'll just sneak up behind somebody on a fast break when they're not expecting it and then block the shit out of them and make a highlight.
But what if I told you that Jordan was first on the list in 3 categories and second in a 4th category? Impressed?
Hold up. Uh let's see. Points, steals, blocks for MJ as guards go, I think.
Actually, MJ is in the top 7 for all major statistical categories. Not only was
Oh,
Jordan the
points.
all-time
Well,
best at
wait. What'd I miss?
almost half of the major statistical categories, he is near the top for every single category. That's right. There is not a single stat that MJ isn't nearly the best all-time at his position. That is simply incredible. If only we had a sample size where Jordan played a similar
Who has more steals at that position? What the hell?
role to LeBron during his career. But wait, we actually do have that data. In 1989, Jordan decided to play point guard for
Nice
24 straight
play.
games, stretching from March 11th to the end of the season. His averages during that stretch were eye-popping, coming in at 30-plus points per game, 9 rebounds, 11 assists, 2.5 steals, all
Yeah.
while shooting
I know. Yeah. If he wanted to be that guy, he would. Oh my God. He could have been the great point guard of all time.
50% from the field and 89% from the free throw line. He not only was putting up his historically high scoring numbers that came to be expected during his career, but was also averaging Magic-like numbers and assists on extremely efficient shooting. At the time, Jordan said that playing point guard would extend his career, since he wouldn't have taken the beating that was allowed during that bully era of basketball.
Easily.
He also would have been able
I mean, it makes sense too. Jordan had to create this offensive killer. Like he was the first one. Really, who he looked up to, Magic Johnson. He wanted to be like Magic. So him wanting to be a playmaker and an assist man, It makes perfect sense. He just didn't get the opportunity outside of what was it, like 10 games he got to play point guard, and then he dominated.
To run up a cumulative stat line for his career that would have been untouchable, but that is not what MJ was all about. All he cared about was winning, and that is
Yep.
exactly what he did.
Yeah, well, I mean, by the time they switched to the triangle with Phil, there was no real need for a point guard. Point guard in a triangle system means actually it's not even a point guard who takes the ball up. So it means nothing, actually. What a point guard means in a triangle means nothing. Someone's going to take the ball up and make that first pass. After that, the offense starts moving. Doesn't matter who brought it up.
Which takes us to our second point, achievements. Everyone knows about Jordan's unprecedented and undefeated 6-0 finals record, but let's compare all achievements for each of these players. This chart looks more like a heavyweight boxer with crushing blows versus a featherweight instead of a GOAT debate between two supposedly equal contenders. Jordan has more championships, more finals MVPs, more regular season MVPs, more Defensive Player of the Year awards, tremendously more scoring titles, and more steals titles. The only thing LeBron has over Jordan is an assist title, and that is just one time. Jordan has vastly more individual and team achievements.
What was the bottom of that?
And more.
Oh, slam dunk champ. Yeah, LeBron, you dropped the ball on that one. You really should have got one. But yeah, okay, I got you. He didn't feel the need to mention it because that's just fun. That's fun stuff. But yeah, I mean, look at the discrepancy here. So you want to call LeBron the the greatest scorer of all time? Yeah, no. It's just that this guy only played 13 and a half years. LeBron's a better defender. Sure you are. Sure you are. I don't see anything there to signify that. Assists? Okay, well you better be. He should have had way more than this because the ball is always in his hand and he's the leader. And like literally every game I watch, LeBron has the most turnovers. So the fact he doesn't have the most assists, that's not a good wash. That's not a good wash at all. Um, yeah, regular season MVPs. Jordan's got you beat still. That's shocking, actually. Finals MVPs, duh. Even though this one's messed up because one of those should be AD's. That last one, that belongs to AD. And the championships, okay.
More steals titles. The only thing LeBron has over Jordan is an assist title, and that is just one time. Jordan has vastly more individual and team achievements that it is laughable to even compare the two. But some have said that LeBron is at least a better defensive player. But is that really true? They say LeBron can guard all 5 positions, although you rarely see him guarding centers or quick point guards for extended periods of time. But let's not confuse versatility with greatness.
That's LeBron's blocking. Behind somebody when they're not even noticing it, and then he towers over them and blocks it. It's like all of his blocks.
Sure, the cheap local all-you-can-eat buffet offers more selection than a 5-star restaurant with a world-renowned chef, but does that mean the food is better?
You donkey.
Absolutely not. MJ was a lockdown defender and was feared by many, which resulted in him being not only the best defensive player in the league, but also the best defensive player in the league at the same time. He was notorious for blocking shots on big men way beyond what is expected from a 6 feet 6 inches guard. Oh my
God. See, I've seen that so many times, but it still just shocks me. But right up in his face.
He also roamed the passing lanes like an elite free safety, snatching any errant passes. And
see, you notice the difference? Jordan is blocking people up front. He's not sneaking them. He's just blocking the shit out of people.
And going the other way for a thunderous, crowd-raising dunk. This is why he ranks first in.
And Jordan's not getting fast break points by cherry picking and not playing defense. He's getting fast break points by playing defense, getting the steal, and then faster than his opponent and getting the breakaway dunk. Can you kids see the difference here?
Blocks per game amongst shooting guards all time and second in steals per game.
There he goes again.
Jordan was voted 9 times first team all defense versus LeBron 6 times. And that was in way fewer seasons. So, Jordan accomplished way more team success, way more offensive achievements, and way more defensive achievements in significantly fewer seasons. Are you starting to see the reason that the gap between these two is as wide as the
Dang.
Grand Canyon? But certainly Jordan was able to accomplish this only because he had a better supporting cast, right?
Right. Yeah.
Wrong
Not even
again.
close.
MJ
Okay. LeBron's current team is better than any team Jordan has ever been on. Ever. Prove me wrong. You can't. His team is stacked right now. The Lakers are stacked.
played with just one player that made the All-Star team the same year they played together, Scottie Pippen. And that happened just 6 times throughout Jordan's career. LeBron, on the other hand, has played 15 times with an All-Star on his team in the same season, and Wade and Bosh did this for 4 straight.
All right. So I mention all these guys all the time. D Wade, AD, Kyrie, Bosh, Kevin Love, which nobody likes to talk about. Kevin Love. Um, is that Ilgauskas? I mean, not Ilga. What the hell? Zarunas. So shoot, I can't remember his name right now for the Cavs. Zarunas. Um, and yeah,
Seasons in Miami, yet they only won 2 championships. Each time you gave MJ just one All-Star, he won the championship every time.
yeah.
Let that sink in. If
Let
Jordan
that
teamed
sink
up
in.
with just one other good player, he was able to win the championship every single year.
Yeah.
Let's dig deeper into this and check total All-Star appearances for all the teammates each played with during full seasons they played throughout their career. A better understanding of the overall caliber of talent each had on their team. We will exclude players who scored less than 5 points per game during the season they played with either MJ or LeBron, since this would show that this player had little to no impact on the team's success. LeBron has
We're gonna pause it right there, because this video is getting a little long, and we're gonna do a part 2 tomorrow. Um, I'm liking this breakdown. So, yeah, let me know down below in the comments so far the way you see it. Um, should LeBron even be in the conversation? Let's talk it out. All right, and as always, if you want to check out this channel, looks like it's an up and coming channel. Go for it. And yeah, the link to the video is going to be in the description down below as always. I will see you on the next one. Peace out.